Alright, got my Suzuki Samurai. I owned this thing about 8 or 10 years, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and change the timing belt in it. I don't think it's ever been changed. Well, I know I haven't changed it, so anyway, I'm going to have to get these bolts out right here. Right here. Down there's one. Pull that radiator out just to give me room. I don't technically have to pull the radiator, but when you don't, it just ends up, you can end up messing up something trying to get in there to get that fan out. And technically, when I look at it now, I think I do need to pull it in order to get in there to get that fan out, because the wrench isn't going to fit on there. So I'm going to have to take that belt. I might put another alternator on this thing, just because I haven't had any problems with this one, but, why not? If I'm there and I can get it for cheap enough. So it looks like I got to remove this radiator, take that fan off. I'm going to actually remove the water pump, put a new water pump in since I got it apart. Then right here, go around this where the bolts are, and I think the thing just slides off from there. So I mean, I could technically probably be done today within a couple hours. So anyway, I'm going to try to run the same video with this and go from there. So later. Alright, so what we're doing is going down there where the peacock is. Petcock, they call it. I'm going to go ahead and drain the radiator fluid and then pull that radiator right now. Alright, well here's a little bit of ketchup and whatever. I got this side loose, and then I'm doing this side here. Take that hose off on the bottom, and then I can go ahead and wedge something in there to keep that fan from turning. Get that fan off, pull that belt off. So anyway, just kind of showing you what I'm doing as I'm going along here. Alrighty, right down there. Right down there. That's where I'm having my first little problem. But you can see I got my screwdriver in there. Finally got that thing to release. So anyway, just kind of, like I say, walking you through it. Sometimes that thing won't come loose, so I loosen that up. Got my screwdriver in here, just kind of worked it. Now this hose is coming off, because got to wiggle it off. So we'll be done in a minute. Alright, well, got it out. And then I realized I probably could have kept it on, and I'm going to be taking those bolts right there off to take the fan clutch off. So I didn't necessarily have to pull that out, but you know what, I don't want to ruin it. It's all just aluminum, so it doesn't take much to put a wrench through it or something. So it really literally takes about 10 minutes to take it off. You know what, that's with the drain time and everything. So anyway, soldier on. Alright, well, I've been fortunate enough on the compression stroke. I was able to break those nuts loose. And if you're not, down here on the crankshaft, you can get a socket, put it on there, and it'll wedge into that guard right there on the bottom, and you'll be able to break them loose also. So anyway, like I say, just updating as we go, taking that fan clutch off. Okie doke. Well, that's what it looks like with the fan clutch off. There it is. Probably replace that, or I might put electronic fan on this. Heard it gives you a couple horsepower, but that really doesn't matter that much. I ain't racing it or nothing. But actually, just simplicity wise, instead of having to mess with that thing. So I don't know. See what the cost is. Probably get something online pretty cheap. So we'll see what's that. See ya. Just a heads up on this. Just to let you know, so far I've used one size wrench. 10 millimeter for this whole thing. Take the radiator out. Take the fan clutch off. Now to remove that guard, 10 mil. So 10 millimeter do this whole job. Just an update. Another update. This is just my own personal preference. What I do is I start where the bolts are the hardest to get to. Get those ones out. That way, as your frustration level, as you get tired, you're going to the easier things. Same thing when I'm putting it together. I'll do the harder things first. And if you need to take a break, take a break. I'm the worst at it, and a lot of swear words come flying out of my mouth. So, preaching to the choir on this one. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to make this 2 parts. That was taking off the fan clutch and removing the radiator. I'm going to need to take off that pulley and then just slide that off and put my new belt on and go from there, and I'll film that as I'm doing it later. So, anyway, have a good one, and keep the rubber side down, brothers.